Hey, what's up? I'm Dominique, and today we are going back in time to the year of 2016. And I'm going to be doing my makeup like it's 2016, except this time around, I'm going to be using 2024 makeup products. So today's look is going to include a ton of highlighter, matte liquid lips, and full coverage glam. So if you want to know what makeup would look like if the 2016 makeup style was popular today, then this video is perfect for you because we are going to find out together. So let's go back to the year of 2016 and let's revisit all the popular makeup trends. So to start off, I'm going to begin with some foundation primer. And in 2016, I specifically remember the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer was huge. And basically all that primer was a pore smoothing oil control primer. So one of my current favorite pore smoothing, pore blurring, and shine oil control primers is my e.l.f. Liquid Putty Poreless Primer. Honestly, having completely matte makeup was one of the coolest things that you could do with your makeup back in 2016. It was so trendy to just be completely matte with no shine except for highlighter on your cheeks, which is why I think extremely glowing makeup is so trendy right now, because we already had that matte crusty moment already back in 2016. Because when you have makeup that matte, it does not look good, especially for those dry skin queens like myself. But I placed this e.l.f. Putty Primer all over my cheeks and mainly where I have pores, so in my T-zone and on my cheeks. And this primer does a great job of controlling shine, blurring pores, and just smoothing out your skin for foundation, which is exactly what 2016 gives. Now every time I do my makeup, I always start with my eyeshadow first because I hate when eyeshadow fallout gets onto the base. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to start off with my eyeshadow. And in 2016, there was a very specific and trendy eyeshadow look that every girl wanted to wear. It was a bronzy, smoky, glittery cut crease eyeshadow look with a huge black wing liner and false lashes. And I'm telling you, that was the it girl makeup back then. So today I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Empowered Eyeshadow Palette to create this look. And come on, you cannot deny that this is giving full 2016 vibes. And I'm not going to go too in depth with this palette specifically because I already created a whole review on this palette, which I'll link right here if you want to go check that out. But I'll just share the basics of what I'm doing to create this look. So I'm going to start off by priming my eyelids with my NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I always prime my eyelids with this concealer. I think it's such a great eyeshadow primer, honestly. And back in 2016, there were no fancy bases like the P. Louise base or anything like that. So we definitely used concealer to prime our eyelids. I mean, of course, besides the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I use that religiously, that's for sure. I went through so many tubes of that, and I'm pretty sure it did absolutely nothing to keep my eyeshadow on or make it look better. With a really fluffy eyeshadow blending brush, I'm going to take the shade Power, and I'm going to place it into the crease, and I'm just doing this by adding some windshield wiper motions into the crease. And windshield wipers are just when you take your brush from the outer corner to the inner corner, and you do it back and forth to create little windshield wiper motions. And I'm going to do a couple layers of this so I can get it really pigmented just how I like it. And the key to success when you place your first transition shade into your crease is bringing it all the way up to your eyebrows, so you give yourself, why did I just say that with a country accent? So you give yourself oh god. So you give yourself a lot more space to work with. And now with the shade Legacy, I'm just deepening up the outer crease of this look just to give it that super smoky effect. But I'm just going to keep scratching back and forth to help blend this out. And then once it's nice and blended, I'm going to cut the crease. And I haven't done that in a normal everyday wearable look in so long, honestly. For the lid, all I did was cut the crease with my NARS Soft Matte Concealer and a flat eyeshadow brush. And then also on the lid, I placed a shade Bold Moves, also with the flat eyeshadow brush. And it's super cute, but now it's time to create the largest black wing liner that I've done in a really long time, because that is the key to 2016 makeup, besides the cut crease and the warm copper shades, that's for sure. And this is the 2016 eye makeup. I'm obsessed. Now, if you know anything about 2016 makeup, you would know that the eyebrow style was completely insane. Back in 2016, eyebrows were done to be super chiseled, super dark, and very full glam and specific. And you could thank Miss Anastasia with the brow dip, because that's what everyone used to do their eyebrows back in 2016. And I still have this product because I do like to do my eyebrows with the brow dip sometimes, so. But this isn't 2024 makeup, so we cannot use her today. I mean, technically neither is this Benefit Precisely My Brow eyebrow pencil, but to this day I would still use an eyebrow pencil to fill in my brows. So I'm going to create some big, thick brow. Ooh. So I guess I'm gonna create big, thick 2016 eyebrows with this little pencil. I mean, I guess we will see how that goes. I mean, 2016 makeup was just full of extraness. But at least back in 2016, we would sculpt out our eyebrows to make them really sharp and precise. And I think that's where my love of makeup is all started, because it was so extra back then and people spent so long on their makeup, and I loved that. I loved when girls would go out and be full glam and look so cute. And you know, back in 2016, people would be going to school in full glam, which to me is so fun. Like, I just like seeing people express themselves, especially with makeup. It's really cool. Oh gosh, this is a dark brow already. This is a very dark brow. We are going to have some block eyebrows today. I have not carved out my brows in years. This is something that I seriously have not done in so long. And honestly, how you did your eyebrows really defined your makeup back in 2016. Like, if you had good eyebrows, you had good eyebrows, and you knew you had good eyebrows. Oh, and I'm just using the NARS Soft Matte Concealer to do this. Okay, eyebrows are on and they're so chiseled. Now, if you were looking for a new foundation back in 2016, you would want one that was full coverage and completely matte. Now, honestly, I'm not really a matte girl, so I don't really have too many matte foundations to choose from, especially because I'm at my lightest foundation shade possible right now. So my options are very slim. So today I'm going to be using one of the most iconic foundations that you could use today, but will still give you that full coverage look. This is the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation, and I'm wearing the shade 200 Light Medium Neutral today. But I'm just going to apply this foundation by pumping one pump on the back of my hand, and I'm going to start pressing it into my skin. And this shade actually is not that bad. I really thought it was going to be horrible. And I'm going to build up this foundation to give it more of a full coverage look, and we are going to set the heck out of this foundation because we need this look to be so matte, because back in 2016 the only parts of your makeup that were glowing were done on purpose. Every other part of your skin was completely matte, and as a dry skin queen, that was simply not the vibe for me. I feel like 2016 makeup was so specific. There weren't many options when it came to choosing what color eyeshadow you wanted to use or how you wanted to even do your eyebrows or anything like that. It was very specific. You needed to follow a very specific way, and if you did, you would be an it girl. But now I feel like there's a few other ways that you could do your makeup. There's not just one specific way, although there still kind of is, honestly. And now with my beauty sponge, I'm just going to tap the foundation into my skin to give it that flawless look. Back in 2016, tapping your foundation in with a beauty sponge was not really a thing. I mean, of course, all the professional makeup artists have known about this hack forever. It's definitely not a new hack in the beauty industry. But recently, this tip has gone viral and a lot more people have started adding this into their makeup routine. And if you have not tried this out, you need to, because it makes such a big difference, and I will never stop doing this. Okay, the foundation is looking gorgeous. I love the Haus Labs foundation. Seriously, it's one of my all-time favorites. It's so good and so beautiful on the skin. Now, concealer back in 2016 was insane because people would put on so much. It was basically mandatory to add a full pound of concealer under your eye. Like, it was always the triangle method. I personally do not recommend adding this much concealer under your eye because honestly, it's just gonna look cakey at the end of the day because you have creases under your eye. Where is the concealer supposed to go? It's gonna fall in the creases, and that's completely normal. But today I gotta do what I gotta do. And the concealer that I'm using today is a Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer, and I have the shade 2.7N Coconut Flakes. This is crazy to blend out because in 2016 we wanted our concealers to be as full coverage as possible. We wanted all of our dark circles to be completely hidden. We needed a filter on our skin because honestly that is when Instagram was at its peak trendiness, and everyone wanted that filter vibe to their skin when they did their makeup. They wanted to look airbrushed and perfect, like they were ready for Instagram at all times. I mean, this is when Kylie Jenner took over the world with her lip kit, so it kind of makes sense because that truly was the vibe back then. And I mean, full coverage glam really does look good on photos, that is for sure. And for an era that was filled with Instagram photos and trying to look your best and being your best self at all times, it kind of makes sense why we had so much makeup and why we wanted to look full coverage at all times. Oh, and you know what else was really cool back then? Foundation and concealer lips. I'm telling you, everyone wore foundation and concealer on their lips. I cannot believe I'm doing this. Oh my god. Seriously, that was so cool to do when you did your foundation. You needed to cover up your lips. I mean, as you can tell, the natural look was completely out the window. And I'm still going to press my concealer into my skin with my sponge, hoping that it makes it look a little bit better even though I have a pound of concealer on. My under eyes do look perfect and very bright, that's for sure. Honestly, it's already giving me flashbacks to 2016. This is insane. Now, in that era of makeup, blush was non-existent. Nobody wore blush. Isn't that so weird? All we did back then was wear a lot of bronzer. So since we're doing it with 2024 makeup products, I'm going to be using a cream bronzer stick to start the bronzing process. And this is a LYS Beauty No Limits Bronzer and Contour Stick in the shade Harmony. And I'm just going to apply this to my cheeks exactly where I would place the bronzer. And of course the forehead as well. Oh my god, and nose contour was huge in 2016. Oh my god, I forgot about that until just now. Then I guess we gotta revisit this nose contour. I never really liked nose contour, but to this day I will still bronze up my nose and do like a mini contour, but nothing too crazy. And now I'm just gonna blend it out with a brush. I seriously love this bronzer stick. It's one of my all-time favorites. I use it so much because it's so good. I mean, you can see how easily it's blending out into my skin. It looks so beautiful. I cannot get over it, and it kind of has more of a hydrating finish, so it's really good for dry skin. In 2016, setting powder was everything. Back in that era, Laura Mercier really had her moment because she had everyone in a chokehold with that powder, and everyone used to beat their face with a powder puff that looks just like this. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to literally beat my face with a powder puff just to set it. Literally, don't you remember people just being like this and really just beating their face with their powder? I mean, if you did not add 10 layers of powder to your foundation back then, were you really doing your makeup? Now, also another thing that we did back in 2016 with our powder was bake our face. And yes, that was a huge thing back then. Oh my god, baking had everyone in a chokehold. And what baking is basically just adding so much powder and letting it sit onto your skin, and then when you dust it away, it will actually brighten up your skin, which is honestly true. It does work, but you're just adding so much powder to your skin, so you risk the chance of making it look dry and cakey, which is why everyone quickly dropped this method of doing their under eyes. And the powder that I use today is a Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Powder in the shade Peach Pie. And I love this setting powder, okay? It blurs your skin. It looks so good. I'm obsessed. So now I'm going to finish up bronzing my skin, and I'm going to be using the Makeup by Mario bronzing powder in the shade Light Medium. Now, when we bronzed our skin back in 2016, we wanted our bronzers to be super intense and super matte. And honestly, powder products were the coolest thing ever. You did not really use cream products besides concealer and powder. And back then, powder bronzer was the coolest thing. No one really used cream bronzer or liquid blush. Actually, no one used blush at all, so. But cream products were basically non-existent. And you would wear so much bronzer because you didn't really add blush, so this was it. I feel like this makeup really looks crazy with no blush. Is that just me? And if you're curious about any of these products that I mentioned so far in today's video, I'll link them all down in the description box for you just in case you want to go ahead and check any of them out. And to be honest, Makeup by Mario really slayed this bronzer because look at how good it looks on the skin. It looks so beautiful and it blended in so easily. I mean, this is fully giving 2016, especially with these lips. Are you kidding me? Now, as we know, highlighter back in 2016 was one of the most iconic things ever. That's probably one of the first things that you think of when you think about 2016 makeup, because everyone was highlighted to the gods, literally. And for highlighter today, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Glow Glide Face Architect Highlighter in the shade Moonlit Glow. And highlighter was so trendy back then that people would actually edit it into their Instagram pictures if it wasn't blinding enough. It was an insane time for highlighter, that's for sure. And honestly, after 2016, highlighter kind of went away because I think that we overdid it a little bit as a society. But in my opinion, I have never lost the love for highlighter. I just love when my skin looks glowy. So I will do anything to make it glow. And real quick, can we talk about how beautiful this packaging in this highlighter is? I mean, it's pressed with such a beautiful star pattern. Miss Charlotte is so expensive, but man, her products are so beautiful. And this is literally giving 2016. You cannot tell me otherwise. This is crazy. Like, I feel so crazy wearing this. But this is truly how much highlighter that they would wear. And they would not wear blush. I just can't get over that. No blush. Insane, no blush. Insane. It's literally insane to me. So now it's time to do one of the most 2016 things ever. Baking is a technique used to brighten up your skin where you place the powder. So all I'm gonna do is apply a really thick layer of powder underneath my eyes, and then I'm gonna let it sit on my foundation for a few minutes while I do my lip combo. And then if it's needed, I'll go back in to add some highlighter and bronzer if it was missing during this process. And honestly, this baking technique was huge for carving out your bronzer. And I still do this in my makeup routine today. Not as thick and intense, that's for sure, but they got this right in 2016. This makes your makeup look so clean and precise because the longer we sit on our skin, the more intense of a brightening effect we'll have. And as you could see, this is a step that could really dry out your foundation and make it look so crusty and matte, which is why I think that we have stopped doing this in our routines today. So now I'm gonna let this sit on my skin while I do my lip combo, and it's gonna do its baking process in the meantime. And every YouTuber back then would always make the joke of, I'm gonna set the oven to 350 so I can bake my face. And I just had to bring that back for this this video because what would this video be without that line? That had every YouTuber in a chokehold. I'm dead. So for the lips, I'm just starting off with a brown lip liner because I cannot do my lip combo without a lip liner. I look crazy with all this bake on, that's for sure. So in 2016, liquid lipsticks were so trendy. They would be so matte, so long wearing, and people were obsessed that you didn't have to touch it up throughout the day. That was basically groundbreaking at the time. So nowadays, people do not wear liquid lipsticks anymore because everyone's wearing a lip oil or a lip tint or anything like that that's super glossy. So the only product that I have that you could actually purchase today that's similar to the liquid lipsticks that were super trendy back in 2016 are these velvet cream lipsticks. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Velvet in the shade Crush. These are actually super nice and I really do like them. What a velvet lipstick is, it's basically just a super full coverage matte lip cream. It dries down, but it's not transfer proof, so it will come off. But the good thing about these are that they're so comfortable and lightweight on the lips, you can barely feel them. I actually love a good velvet lipstick. You can see it's just so full coverage and so matte, which was everything back in 2016. And I honestly must admit that this lip combo looks seriously so good. I wish I could top it off with some gloss more than anything, but so now for one of the final steps, I'm just gonna dust my bake away, and you can really see the makeup magic here. This truly is some makeup magic. And it does such a good job of brightening your skin where you place it and you let it sit. Do you see how bright my under eye is? It's kind of crazy. And while you're baking, you honestly just kind of look insane. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Well, actually, I forgot a few things in this routine. I can't believe nobody told me until right now. It took me so long to realize that I forgot to bake my nose. How could I forget to bake my nose? How could I forget this step? But good thing we still have one thing to do before we are completely done with this look, and that is the lower lash line. So I guess I'll just let my nose bake while I do my lower lash line. So all I'm gonna do is take a really small pencil brush, and I'm gonna dip into the shade Legacy, which is the dark shade that we used for the crease, and I'm just gonna run it along my lower lash line. I'm gonna make sure it's really pigmented so that you could see it. So now with a tiny fluffy blending brush, I'm just gonna take the shade Power, and then I'm gonna blend out the shade Legacy. You just gotta practice a little bit and then it will come so easily to you. There's not much to it, just 2 shades, and you'll have a beautiful look. So now I can finally dust the nose bake off. Oh, and it's actually giving chiseled nose. Now, as you can see, when I baked my face, I lost a little bit of the highlighter, so I'm just gonna re-add some highlighter in because it's very important to be extra glowy during this look. So of course, it's very important that I add more. Look how cute. And then you cannot forget the nose highlighter. That was huge in 2016. And then of course, I have to add some highlighter in the inner corner of my eye as well. And then that really is the finishing touch for this look. And that's it. Here is today's final 2016 inspired makeup look using 2024 products. And as you can see, this routine is super extra, but this era of makeup is so iconic and it's really influenced the beauty industry so much. And I mean, there's a reason why everyone still talks about 2016 makeup style to this day. But it was so much fun to recreate this look using products that are super trendy in today's makeup industry, like Makeup by Mario and Haus Labs. It's really cool to reflect and see how much makeup has changed since then. And I had so much fun. I personally love this look so much, but it definitely has a time and a place. And honestly, in my opinion, 2016 makeup will forever slay. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. I had so much fun recreating this 2016 style look. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the 2016 style of makeup, and let me know if you've tried out any of these makeup products that I mentioned in today's video and which one your favorite is. I would love to hear from you. And of course, as always, I've linked all the products that I mentioned in today's video down in the description box just in case you want to go ahead and check any of them out. I will be back next week with a brand new video, so make sure to go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss when I upload a new video. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.